Hello and welcome to the July Smart Trading Monthly newsletter. The markets have continued their strong moves with the ASX making new highs and most world markets finishing with nice rises for the end of the financial year. Let's check out some of the charts, but before we do, I just need to remind you that I'm not licensed to provide any personal investment advice. This video and all the charts and trades I share are for illustrative purposes only, and I'm just showing you how I view the current market and sharing this with you. So let's head on over to the markets and see what's actually been happening and how they have performed for the end of the financial year. So on the screen here, this is a chart of the ASX 200 in Metastock 16. So it's a weekly chart. And for the end of the financial year in Australia, from the 1st of July 2017 to the 30th of June 2018, the Aussie market rose 8.3%. That's a very strong bullish rise that we've had. And if you've mostly been trading the Aussie market, have you outperformed this index? My goal as a trader is to always outperform the main index that I trade, and I trade both the Aussie market and the US markets. If you haven't, then maybe you need to go back and have a look at your trading and find out what's going on. If you're new to trading, you may still be learning and you're making a lot of mistakes along the way. So make sure that you learn from those mistakes. And the most important part is having a good money management strategy and knowing how to keep those losses small and capitalize on those winning trades. And as you can see from this chart, the Aussie market has also broken to new highs. It struggled for a while range trading between this level here and getting resistance at this level here at 6150, continuing to test the 6000 level, but we've finally pushed through. And if we have a look at the daily chart, you can see that beautiful rise and how we've pulled back and risen back up. So it's a very nice move and continuation of this uptrend channel that's on the chart. Oops, I zoomed out a bit far then. But you can see the uptrend channel that's in the charts. And we haven't been beyond this point over here since 2008. So we're getting up to our all-time highs that we made when we were in that bullish market of 2007. So it would be great to see us do what the US market has and push well beyond those highs of the past. So talking about the US market, let's check out the S&P 500 chart. Now the S&P 500 has risen 12% from the start, from the 1st of July 2017 to the 30th of June. That's another beautiful rise, another world market that's had a very strong move in there. It has had a big peak in there and fallen back and gone sideways. But overall, it's still healthy. There's still a long-term uptrend in play, and it's still holding above that. And if we go to the daily chart, you can see how it's been zigzagging between this area and here, but it's just pushed through, which was a nice healthy sign for the US market as well. So how have you performed if you are mainly trading the US markets? I'm very happy with my results for this financial year. My weekly system has performed phenomenally well. That system mainly trades long-term shares in the US and the Aussie market, and it's outperformed the Aussie market more than 5 times. My daily swing trading systems also had a fantastic run and performed very nicely. For those that have been following my newsletters regularly, I trade 2 main systems, as you already know. A long-term weekly system that will hold shares anywhere from a few months to a few years. As long as that share is healthy, I want to stay with it. And then I've got my medium-term daily swing trading system that trades CFDs, and that can hold a trade from a few days to a few weeks. And I teach all my trading strategies in the Ultimate Smart Trading Mentor course. And I've had some great feedback from some of my mentors at the end of the financial year and their results. And one of the reasons why I love teaching people to trade is to help them to become better traders in the market. And I love hearing their success stories and how well they're doing. And I also know that trading's not easy. You know, there's a lot of mind games that go on when you're trading, and your first year of trading will always be the hardest. You've got to treat it like your apprenticeship year. And I could spend a lot of time talking about the psychology of trading. because what goes on inside your head makes or breaks you as a trader. You may know all the rules of what you should do, but whether you actually do it is a whole nother story. So as part of your trading journey, you will learn a lot about yourself along the way. So let's head back over to the charts and let me share some of my trades with you. Just close that down. So last month I shared this share with you. This is Accent Group. This was a weekly long-term trade that I'd entered into when it broke through the dollar mark with a nice rise up that week. I entered into it the next week because it had come up in my weekly scan, and it's moved beautifully. It was one that I was starting to look into pyramiding into, but unfortunately it completely collapsed and it hit my stop loss. And just this week my exit has been hit. I have my stop losses set up in my broker and I'm automatically sold out. So with the average price I was sold out at, 1.3365 on that trade. I held that trade for 139 days. I made just over a 30% return on the total trade size, and it was a 1.35R multiple win on that one. I also received a small dividend along the way. If you go to the daily chart, you can see the big drop that's happened in the chart there, and that candle there was the day that it took me out of the trade. So moving on to the next trade, this one here I've already shared with you previously. I entered into this one on the 14th of June. I pyramided and added to this position based on my trading rules. Then I sold half when it had doubled in size. And the other half is still open and running. So I've pulled my original equity out of this trade and I've now just got my profit running. And I've got my stop loss just set below $20. So we'll see what continues to pan out with this one. And I have received a couple of dividends along the way as well with this one. So that's a long-term weekly share that is still open and running. Now this is a US share that I have open and running. Started trading the US shares again this year. Opened this one on the 29th of May at 353.39. It's had a beautiful rise up and my stop loss has moved up. It came very close to my stop loss last night, but it didn't hit my stop. My stop's sitting at 342 and it had a low of 344. So if you go to the daily chart, you can see how it had quite a strong move down. It opened down here last night on some unfavorable news that came up, but then by the end of the trading session it closed up here, so people didn't think the news was that bad, otherwise it would have kept on falling and it would have hit my stop. So what I'd like to see is for it to fill its gap and continue to go back up. But of course I've got no idea what's going to happen. I know I've got my stop loss in play and it will be just a small loss if it gets hit. If it manages to move higher, then I've still got the trade open and running. Now the next trade is a daily swing trade, Mayne Pharma Group. I did share this trade with you in my last newsletter, and as you know I entered into this on the 2nd of May when it came up in my daily swing scan. Moved up very nicely, then it pulled back, and then it swung higher before having a pullback and rising back up near the key resistance level. When it got to this level it gapped down, and that's when I exited. I tightened my stop loss up to a 280R and I could see it had clearly hit that stop. So I sold out of this on the 21st of June at 86 cents. So I held that trade for 50 days. It was a 1.55R multiple win. If it was a share trade, it was 18.37% return on the total trade size. It was a CFD trade with a 7.5% margin, so that equated to a 241% return on the margin amount. Moving on to another trade. This is a new trade that I have open with my daily swing trading system. I entered into this one on the 9th of the 7th at 1.535. It had a beautiful break. I missed the run up on this one, and then when it pulled back and it bounced, came up in my daily swing scan here, I liked what I saw, so I entered into this on a retracement trade, and it has moved higher. So that trade is still open and running with my daily swing trade. So I have added a couple of swing trades that are still open, and I have added some new weekly system trades as well, because the market's just moving beautifully and I've been getting so many nice signals. And I have shared all these trades with my mastermind members, and I look forward to my next webinar with all my mastermind members in August, where I'll share my end of financial year results. So that's an update on all my trading, and I hope that you've had a good financial year as well. Don't forget how important it is to have a trading plan. So if you don't feel things are going very well and you don't have a trading plan in the market, then get my book Smart Trading Plans. It's a step-by-step guide to developing your own personal trading plan. You can buy it from my website, or you can download it in Kindle version from Amazon. And if you haven't been to my website before, make sure you check it out and enter your name and email, and you can get my free special report, which is the top 10 mistakes that a lot of new traders make. And when you sign up to that report, you'll go into my database and you will receive an email when I record a new monthly video. And if you have any questions, my contact details are in the contact us area of my website. And if you'd like to know more about my trading systems and strategies, then check out my Ultimate Smart Trading Mentor course. As part of joining that mentor course, you also get a year's mastermind membership. And it's my mastermind members that I keep up to date with all my trades. We also have a discussion forum. I do regular video updates, and we have a couple of webinars throughout the year. So I wish you all your best in your trading for the new financial year, and look forward to sharing more updates with you. Goodbye for now.